Hey there, girls and boys. Abby Brown here from Iowa PBS, visiting the Greater Des Moines Botanical Garden with my friend Heather and my other friend, Braelyn. Today we are going to learn about the very important job that flowers have and how all of the little pieces inside of the flower help get that job done. So Braelyn, I think you already learned about this important job in school, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
Pollination.
Pollination. Can you tell us why that job is so important and what it is?
Yes, exactly. So pollination is hugely important for plants because it involves making more plants. Without pollination, we would have no more little plants. So simply put, pollination is just the movement of pollen from one plant to another plant. And today we're going to talk about the inside parts of the flower and see how they all work together to make that happen.
So this is cool. We have a model of a flower, right? And I know what these parts are. Do you know what these parts are?
Petals.
Petals, that's right. And do you know what any of these other parts are? Because I don't. No, not yet. I bet Heather can help us.
That's okay. So do you know what lives on this little piece right here?
Pollen.
That's right. So that dusty substance that's so important to pollination grows right here. And the name of this structure is the anther. Can you say that?
Anther.
Anther.
That's right. So if anyone asks you where pollen comes from, you know the anther.
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 Okay, perfect. So what else do we have here?
So let's keep moving in. We've got one more big piece here. Do you recognize this piece?
I mean, I've seen it in flowers before. Have you?
No.
Okay, what is it?
Well, let's take a look first on this flower. Can you feel that centerpiece? Does it feel any certain kind of way?
Sticky.
That's right, and that's how I remember the name of this piece. It's called the stigma, or the sticky stigma. And why do you think it might be sticky?
It has to grab something, I bet.
And it's got a liquid inside of it that's kind of sticky, kind of syrupy, kind of sweet.
What do you think it needs to grab?
Pollen.
I think, is that right?
That's right, and that liquid is nectar. And so it's a reward there for lots of critters like pollinators, bees, butterflies, birds to come and sip on. And in the process, they might drop off some pollen. So it's a win-win for everyone.
So time to dissect a flower, right?
That's right. So now we know the parts we're looking for. Let's see if we can find them on an actual flower. So I've got some Alstroemeria lilies here for us.
Wait, say that again?
It's an Alstroemeria.
Ooh, can you say that?
Alstroemeria.
Alstroemeria?
It feels like we're speaking another language.
It does, it totally does.
The language of science. And we're going to do a dissection.
Okay.
So this is something we do when we want to learn more about the thing that we're studying. Sometimes you have to take it apart.
Love it.
So we're going to start, before we dive into this, let's observe. What do you notice first?
Colorful.
It's colorful. What color is it?
Yellow and pink with spots.
Wonderful. Are you ready to dive in and start taking it apart?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to very gently begin with the outermost layer, which is called the, what are these?
Petals.
That's right. And to remove the petals, you can hold one and gently pull down and away, and they just come right off.
Oh, you got one already. Good
Yeah.
job. So just put it on the table?
Yes, let's just collect them in front of us.
All of them? Just keep going?
Yeah, just keep going. Okay, so how many petals did everyone get?
6.
So did I.
Me too! Okay, that makes good sense because in most cases, all flowers of the same species will have the same number of petals.
Oh, interesting.
So let's take a closer look at these petals real quick. So we talked about what color they are. What about the pattern?
Ooh, you said spots. I agree with that. It's spotted, but more like lines than polka dots.
Yeah, and do you guys have any thoughts about why this petal might be spotted or lined?
Is it trying to get a pollinator to come to it?
You bet, yeah. So everything about these petals is not just for you and me to enjoy, it's for pollinators to enjoy. So it's like a runway, it's like a vacancy sign saying, please land here. All right, let's keep moving inward. Do we remember these pieces here that kind of look like little fuzzy hot dogs?
Anthers.
That's right. Okay, so let's remove those gently. They come right off. And just collect them in front of you.
Okay, now, wait, one of mine doesn't have that top. It's different than the others. Is that the sticky one?
That's a great observation. So we have, I think we should have 6 anthers.
Ooh.
And some of them are fuzzy because they've got their pollen, and some of them are a little smoother because they don't have pollen yet.
And some are bigger than the others.
That's right. But you should be left with one thing in the middle that's not an anther. Do we find that?
Yep.
And remember what that one's called? The sticky
Stigma.
stigma. That's right. So this is the final piece. We can remove it.
Remove it? Okay.
Yes. And what we are left with is a piece that we haven't talked about yet. It might just look like a stem, might not look like much, but there's some magic going on inside of here.
Ooh, what is
and
it?
I wonder if we can use our thumbnail to open it up. Shouldn't
Okay.
take much.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay,
look
you're
at
getting in there.
that. What is that inside of there?
So what do you notice? Like, it's a little hard to see. We might need to use our magnifying glass.
Oh yes, perfect. Oh yeah.
Okay, are we seeing some specks?
Oh yeah, definitely. seeing
Doesn't look
specks.
like much. So this is an important part of the flower called the ovary.
Ooh.
And these little pieces here are ovules, which is just a fancy word for a baby seed.
Now, I know something about baby seeds. I know that these baby seeds are not going to make a sunflower.
No.
They're not going to make a radish. They're not going to make a tomato. They're only going to make, what were these called?
Alstroemeria lilies.
All right.
That's right. And they'll only make those new plants if they're successfully pollinated.
So what's the important job that all plants have to do?
Pollination.
This is an amaryllis, and I'm wondering if we can name all the parts on this flower.
Ooh, I know what you can do it. Ready, Braelyn? Go.
Petals, stigma, and leaves.
That's right. So all different flowers obviously look very different. And here at the Botanical Garden, we can see so many different examples of what a flower looks like. But if you look really closely and dissect a flower, you'll find that they all have the same basic parts.
Here at the garden, Braelyn and I learned about the parts of a flower.
Petal, sticky stigma, and
And each of those parts has an important role in that big job of pollination. Heather, thank you so much. What adventures will you go on?
have fun with it.